what up? It's your girl Ashley. I be ballin' with another I be ballin' basketball episode, and I'm gonna review the Netflix series called Starting Five. Right? It follows a lot of NBA players, throughout the season, last season, the 2023 and 2024 season. So the players were LeBron, Domantas Sabonis, Jimmy Butler. It had Jayson Tatum, Anthony Edwards, and there's gonna be a season 2. I'm gonna give it a low B, Don't hate me, guys. Don't hate me. I'm just saying I think it could have been a little better, but I did like all the highlights. The spending time with the family, getting a glimpse of what goes on in the NBA season. It was like an all access type of documentary. They showed a lot of NBA highlights, a lot of NBA clips. There was a lot of people on there too, like Rich Paul. The family members were talking, so Bronny was talking, Savannah James was talking, Ramona from ESPN. So a lot Kevin Garnett, NBA legend. There was a lot of coaches talking as well. The Atlantic Dream owner Renee was on there. So it was a lot about road trips. It was about Christmas, All Stars. It was about injuries. Holidays. It even opened the opening episode was LeBron dressing up like Beetlejuice for Halloween, and he loves Beetlejuice, and all the family dresses up. So that's the best part about it to me. You got to listen to the family members talk, because sometimes you do hear the NBA players with the interviews and all that, but this time it was like a little bit of that family. You get to see the human side, not just the court side, and they definitely did talk about Bronny James and him having a heart attack at USC. They definitely spent a lot of time with each other. Oh, as far as LeBron, they talked a lot about his longevity, the time he spends on his body and sleep, right? His preparation, his sleep routine, right? They was talking about all that, you get to see all the players work out, of course. But it was big because it was like 20. It was season 21 for LeBron, and they also followed the teams they were on, like the Lakers. They won the in-season tournament. They showed that. Oh, they showed the All-Star games because, he's been to a ton all-time records. Follow them around like celebrity ads, like sponsorships. They followed him around Christmas, with the pajamas, The family said he's more focused around playoff time, which makes sense, right? And, they showed the ups and the downs. They showed them losing to the Nuggets as well. But the glimpse, the good glimpse, like, being the all-time, scoring leader, passing Kareem, and, they showed all of that. They even showed Zuri. Zuri is the LeBron's youngest daughter, and they said she gets away with a lot of stuff, because Bryce and Bronny, they're like the oldest, right? And they're guys, but the girl gets away with a lot more stuff. I definitely loved Anthony Edwards, because I just like his personality. He says what's on his mind. He don't care. They showed him talking trash to Jayson Tatum and Brown, so that was kind of funny. They showed him, leaving halftime to a game to, go to the hospital for his firstborn, right? And so that was a special moment of him holding it. But they showed him, just chilling with the family, buying a new house. I liked when he was rapping with his brothers, Uh, they did talk about his past, like his, grandma and his mom passing, around, I think it might have been 8 months of each other. And, he's really close to his sister. His sister was, you know, in the documentary as well. And yeah, he talked about fatherhood. But they also were showing kind of, I feel like he's going to be like that new face. Well, one of the new faces of the NBA. I mean, he's in Sprite commercials and all that. He's a star now. But yeah, they showed the baby shower. So they gave you a glimpse inside. They showed Tatum and Deuce. You guys might know them. Deuce is Jayson Tatum's, first child. And for, fans wondering, no, his girlfriend, I want to get this right. Aaliyah Mai, she sings Booed Up and Trip and stuff. And she has a new, EP out, Little Things. Ella May or something, a singer. They didn't show her, but I think they showed a little glimpse of the mom. I'm not sure. But they didn't show her, so they keeping some stuff off limits. But I did like, learning a little more about, I knew that, he was raised by a single mother. But, his mother was talking a lot. And I know he has a foundation helping single mothers, But I didn't know about his dad. Like, his dad was talking in the documentary and how he was hard on him. And, the high school days of them training. So I thought that was interesting because I thought, it was just him and his mom. But, yeah, his dad was around. Deuce, he got a good life, man. He got a good life because, like, they show his house and the backyard. It's almost like a playground just for Deuce. They did show an intimate moment of him being on the NBA 2K cover, and Jayson Tatum was crying, Well, not crying like boo-hoo, but, a little, misty eye, tears, and, Deuce gave it to him. And, Deuce was talking, Deuce was talking in the documentary and showing his postcards, because when, Jayson Tatum is on the road, he sends postcards to Deuce, so that's cool, because they grew up together, Jayson Tatum had him when he was like 18, 19, so they was growing up together. So it was interesting, and of course they followed all the way to the Celtics championship because they won the championship last year. So they followed them, and they talked about, the media. They love you when you're up, but when you lose, you get all the blame. But as a star, you also get the photo shoots and the deals, They showed his trainer, Drew Halen, who he was working out with since, he was a kid. He also Drew also works out with, like, Joel Embiid, Bradley Beal, so he's like a good NBA trainer. And, Mo Bamba, I think another one of his clients is. But Jayson Tatum shared a story about a teacher saying that, because they're like, what you want to be when you grow up? And he said an NBA player. And the teacher kind of like dissed him, like, you got to think of another plan. And his mom was like, hey, don't let no one tell you what you can or cannot be, right? And so I thought that was a good story to tell. And it's crazy because teachers are supposed to encourage students, right? So I was like, okay. But yeah, he was being himself, and he was saying what they got to say now after they won the championship. And, he was hugging Deuce and, saying what they gonna say now, Mom. Just to let you guys know, the players, let me look it up, but the players that are gonna, be on the next starting five, it's probably gonna come out later after the season ends. I bet it's gonna come out like summer or fall, one of those. But KD, right? Kevin Durant, right? From Jaylen Brown. Oh, Jaylen Brown, Celtics. They might as well follow them both together this season, Jaylen Brown. But yeah, I think this is a good lineup. KD with the Suns, Brown with the Celtics, because, they should follow a Celtic because they are trying to repeat, right? Makes sense. KD is an OG in the game. They got Tyrese Halliburton, who is an up-and-comer. And this is interesting because he's not having the best season right now. So when this comes out, maybe we can see what's going on with Tyrese Halliburton, because he was an up-and-coming young PG. But now it's like he's struggling a bit. So we're going to see what happens. Also, James Harden, he's an OG too. He's an OG too with the Clippers. We'll see what happens with Fear the Beard, and SGA, from the Thunder. That's a good choice too because of the Thunder have a chance to go to the NBA Finals. He's on a young team. He's in MVP race. So I do like all of their picks, but I do think they should have picked someone like Domantas Sabonis, like they picked this season, because Domantas Sabonis, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. So they were even talking about it on the show. Like, his wife gets mad because he doesn't, get the attention that he deserves, right? And he wasn't even an all-star last year. And it's crazy because he comes up with triple-doubles, double-doubles. He's a great passer, He gets rebounds, He can, he has post moves. He has, some jumpers. It's crazy. He's definitely underrated, I feel like it should be about your game, but sometimes it is about, okay, who's marketable, who, is outgoing, whose personality can we market, whose style can we market, whose game is flashy and exciting, right? He's a big man. Big men sometimes don't get the attention they deserve because people want to be guards and wings, and sometimes you might need that personality like Ant-Man, who's outgoing and says whatever, But I think, Domantas, great role model. He's a humble type, don't brag, right? And they were talking, they followed them through the playoffs, and they obviously lost, and, I think his family went to Spain after that. But, he was speaking at a high school. He's a great role model. And they talked about how the Kings don't get on a lot of Christmas games. And it's like, why not? You got Fox. You got Darren Fox. They're like a 1-2 great punch. So it's like crazy. And they were talking about the Kings playoff drought and, But yeah, they also talked about his love story with his wife. He talked about always being in the locker room because his dad, used to be a trailblazer. He was an old rookie too, like in his 30s. And I feel like he definitely got out of his dad's shadow, in my opinion. And he just remember being in the locker room and having his dad as a pro. But he was great overseas as well. And that's where the passing, I think that's where he get his passing from, for real. But yeah, they definitely talked about kids, right, his family. But yeah, not a lot of endorsements. He's overlooked, right, and underrated. And I think they should have picked someone like that. I don't think, next year's lineup is anyone like Sabonis. I think everybody that they pick gets, good attention from the media. Last but not least, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets. He definitely got a cool personality, you know. He was talking about how he's working on a country album. You know, he was singing Chris Brown. So he showed off his personality, and he has a coffee. He has a he was drinking that coffee. He has like his own coffee and, promotes it. I never tasted it, but I'm not a big coffee person. I was more of a Mountain Dew person. But of course, they were surrounded by family, playing dominoes. Something did sad happen. Of course, injuries. They talked about injuries. But later on in the season, his dad had passed. But I believe his dad was on the show before he passed. So they were talking about that, and they all said, all of the players were like, when they come home, it doesn't matter if they had a good game or bad game, their family, their kids, still love them. They don't really care, hey, you sucked or your team lost. They just want to spend time with the players, and they showed their kids getting presents and all that stuff. But he was also singing Fall Out Boy, so you could tell like his range of music is widespread. Fall Out Boy to Chris Brown, like those are two different. So you could tell, like, I don't know if when his country album gonna come out, but I think he should collaborate with Beyonce. Hey. But they also talked about his health, of course, because it's up and down injuries. But yeah, and they showed the dogs. They were showing highlights of Heat versus Bulls. But they also talked about his different hairstyles. In the media, media day, sometimes it was emo. And they showed all his hairstyles with the fake locks. And right now, this season, he's doing braids, but he's doing different color braids, like red and orange, right? But he's known to do wild hairstyles, especially for media day, picture day. That's like picture day for school, right? But yeah, overall, it was good to see the players' personality, learn more about their families, hearing their families talk, right? And there's good basketball highlights as well. Unfortunately, I can't give it an A+. It's a low B, because for me, I'm an NBA fan, so I felt like, and I've watched so many sports documentaries, so many basketball documentaries, that there are a lot of better documentaries than Starting Five. Better sports documentaries and better basketball documentaries. So I can't give it an A+. I can't, recommend this to anyone, because I feel like this is more for the casuals. I feel like if you casually watch the NBA or watch basketball, this is for you, because you would learn way more than a NBA fanatic that just knows so much about the players and this and that already, That's why I feel like this is a good show, but I also feel like they should bring more. Of course, you're going to have the LeBrons, right? And the KDs, right? Of course. But yeah, if you add more Domantas Sabonis type players, the overlooked players, I think that'd be way better. And maybe put a Milwaukee Buck in there, maybe. I don't know if Giannis would do it. Maybe Dame. I don't know. Maybe Chris Middleton. He's another person that doesn't get the attention they deserve. But Chris Middleton is very underrated. And also like the reason why they did this is the Netflix has a lot of sports series. Soccer with the U.S. Women's soccer team. They have Simone Biles with her return to gymnastics, right? They have one called Sprint, which is about men and women's track and field, the runners, right? Like Noah Lyles and Shakara Richardson. And I thought that was really great. Simone Biles and, the track one, that was really great. That was definitely A++. Unfortunately, this is just B+, maybe B-, I don't know. Maybe a B, I don't know. But go check it out for yourself if you guys want to see it. Or maybe it's your favorite player or favorite team. Go check it out. If you love basketball, go check it out. I don't think it's one of those things like by the first or second episode you can see if you really want to watch it or not. Or maybe you already know a lot about these players already, right? But they also have football as well, quarterback and wide receiver. Those are A++ too. And it could be that I'm giving those other ones an A+ because I learned more about the NFL players from wide receiver and quarterback series, right? And I learned more about track and field and Simone Biles, different sports, versus I know a lot about basketball already, and I know some things about these players already and seen highlights, right? So maybe that's why I'm only giving it a B. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that, but like, comment, and subscribe, please. If you don't want to subscribe, just do a like. If you don't want to do a like, leave a comment. Do one or the other. I don't know. Let me know what you guys want me to review. I do a lot of movie reviews, TV reviews. I do Family Ballers, which show the parents and the kids balling. Like a LeBron or a Bronny, or like Shaq and his kids. He got a lot of kids. Chris Paul and his son, Derrick Rose and his son, Rajon Rondo and his son, right? And of course, I bring that WNBA and NBA news right here. More episodes on the way. Peace. Also, stay ballin'.